Started, I don't know how many fingers inside to check the cervix. Oh my God. Hello family, so today is story time. I'm going to talk about my pregnancy. I had a very unusual pregnancy. It's like my body didn't recognize I was pregnant. Like so many things happened during my pregnancy that were weird. That is according to what I hear other people say. First of all, I did not know I was pregnant until I was like 2 months pregnant. And I was with my parents. I was staying with my parents for like 1.5 months. Initially, I was living with my boyfriend. We had issues, so I went home. Like I went home to think. And so I stayed home for like 1.5 months. While I was there, so many things were happening in my body and I could not recognize really what was up. Because you know, when the pregnancy is starting, there's some things that you feel, but because you're a new mom and you don't know how pregnancy is like, you don't think or think it's a big deal. So first of all, I used to go to pee a lot, like a lot. And that led to a lot of question marks. It's like, why am I going to pee that much? I also used to feel dizzy sometimes and also sleep. Every afternoon at 2 p.m. I would go and sleep. That made me question a lot what was happening. But let me tell you, nothing crossed in my mind that maybe I'm pregnant because I usually have an irregular period. So I was like, imechelewa. So pregnancy was out. So when I started going to pee a lot, I told my mom. I called my mom and told her, no, I'm peeing a lot. Every time I'm going to the toilet, can you just take me to the doctor so that I can get tested for diabetes? Because I hear those people, the first symptoms of diabetes, oh my God, the first symptoms of diabetes is like peeing. So my mom tells me, okay, I'll take you to the doctor. So the following day, we went to the doctor. I was tested for diabetes and I was okay. So I told my mom, I do not have diabetes, but my body, I feel like there's something wrong with my body. So my mom told me we can go and do a thorough checkup in the hospital. And then I told her, no worries, I'll just go alone the following day and get tested for malaria, because the symptoms that I have, and if it's not diabetes, because in our family we have history of diabetes. So I'm like, if it's not diabetes, maybe it's malaria, because those symptoms, I'm feeling dizzy, sometimes I have a light headache. I'm like, this must be something. So the following day I take myself to the doctor and I tell her, like, test malaria, I think I'm sick, test malaria. And then I'm sorry for that noise. The doctor tests for malaria. Nil, I don't have malaria. So I'm like, I don't have malaria, I don't have diabetes, but my body is really not okay. What could be wrong now? And the doctor asked me, when was your last period? I told her, she was a she. I told her when my last period was, and then I told her there's no worries there because I usually have an irregular period. So we brushed that off and I went home. And then I used to have, what do we call it? Moods. Vibaya sana. Like for the first time, we were not in good terms with my dad completely. Like I remember we had a big fight, a big fight that I did not talk to him for like 3 days. I was so moody. I used to talk tu vibaya, kuongea tu vile nataka. Then bado naona like I'm having a lot of discharge. The discharge is too much and I'm wondering, do I have an infection? I really don't understand. So when we continued having those like arguments with my dad, I'm always moody. I decided, and then my then boyfriend was like, hey, you just come home. This house is not, the same without you. Come home, I miss you and all of that. I was like, I think I need to go back to where I stay, because Hapa, we keep on, fighting and all of that. So I left. Let me tell you, when I arrived or I landed in Nairobi, I felt like I was completely sick. Like I felt sick completely. My body was so weak. I was feeling, I don't know how. I told my then boyfriend, the way I'm feeling, is like I'm sick. And he told me, you just lie down. If tomorrow you feel the same way, we're going to the hospital. The following day I woke up fine. And then he went to work and I was left in the house. So I told myself, because I'm alone in the house, let me just go buy a pregnancy test to rule out I'm not pregnant, because I know I can't be pregnant anyway. I'm not pregnant, but let me just rule out I'm not pregnant, so that maybe when I go to the hospital, I'm sure pregnancy is out. So I was living around Juja. I went to the pharmacy and purchased a pregnancy kit, and I went home. It was around in the afternoon there. And so when they say that when you're testing for pregnancy, you should test in the morning, it is when you get clear results. But I was so impatient. I was like, I'm testing right now. So I took my pregnancy test, and I tested. And let me tell you, it did not even take 1 minute for it to show positive. Like 2 lines, I'm pregnant. I was like, oh my God. No. This can't be true. I'm not pregnant. No. I can't be pregnant. Immediately, I rushed out of the house. I went to another pharmacy. I went and told the pharmacist, I want a pregnancy test, and I want the best pregnancy test, the best, so that I can test. And he was like, okay, we have this one. And I took it. I went back and I tested. Positive. Oh my God. Oh my God. I was like, no, I can't be pregnant. Like, I sat down. I cried, guys. You guys, I cried. That day I cried. I was young. Like, I was young. It's when I'm starting life. Hata sijamaliza shule. I'm doing my project. There I am. I'm pregnant. Like, how? I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant, really. Eh? I cried. You console yourself and say, now I'm pregnant, I'm crying. Even if I cry, nothing is going to change. So in the evening, my then ex-boyfriend came from work, and I showed him the pregnancy kit. I even didn't talk to him. I just took my pregnancy kit and gave him. And he looked at them, and then he asked me, it says positive here. What is this? I told him it's a pregnancy test, and he was like, it is positive. And then I was like, yeah, it's positive. And then he's like, wow. He was like excited, but I wasn't. And then he was like, see, tomorrow, before we get too excited, tomorrow you go to the hospital, get tested properly, ionekane if you're pregnant. And I said, okay, all right. So the following day, I went to the hospital, and they confirmed I was pregnant. And I told him. He was excited. He was like, it's okay, this is good news. At least our relationship is, is progressing. Tutalea. Yeah, tutalea. So I started my journey. Let me tell you. After knowing I'm pregnant, all the symptoms of pregnancy zilikuja zote, like zote. I was vomiting. Now, remember, I have tested when I'm 2 months pregnant. So, this is my 3rd month. I am vomiting. Literally, there was nothing that was passing through. Yani mwisho ilikuwa inafika hapa. I vomit kila kitu. When I take water, I vomit. When I take tea, I vomit. When I take anything, I was vomiting everything. I could not eat anything. Let me tell you, I reduced. Yani, my weight went, I don't know, any kabisa. My weight was not there kabisa. So it was just vomiting, feeling bad. Oh my God. It reached a point where, my ex-boyfriend told me that now, I think we should go to the hospital so that they can maybe prescribe you something so that you can stop vomiting, because there is nothing that is going inside. You're vomiting everything. How will the baby survive? So we went to the hospital, and the doctor prescribed me some medicine there to take. But he told me, I remember, like, it's all in your head. You've already put in your head, like, anything that you eat, you're going to vomit. Anything that you eat, you're just going to vomit. So already your mind knows that if you take anything, you're going to vomit. That's why you're vomiting. Why don't you distract yourself and try not to think about vomiting? You just eat like the way you were eating before, without thinking you're pregnant and everything, and see. So that day I went and tried not to think so much about vomiting and food. And let me tell you, I never even took those prescriptions. I never did those he had given me because I stopped vomiting from that day. And let me tell you, my second trimester, it was a eating period. I used to eat a lot. Oh my God, I used to eat a lot. Yani, God, the food that I was eating, I was eating like a man. I was eating like a man. I used to take like 1 liter of soda every single day. Eat and eat and eat and eat. Let me tell you, the weight came back vibaya sana. Like vibaya, I became big because I was eating. And you know, when I'm eating, I'm not going anywhere. Ni kukula, kuwatch, na kulala. Kukula, kuwatch, na kulala. And I did not have any other complication. Now, I'm not vomiting. It is eating time. My second trimester was good. Let me just say it was just eating, no problems. And then came my third trimester. My stomach was really big. Yani ili, very, very, very big. So if you could see me, I looked like a tired person because my belly was really big. But it reached a point where now I felt like inanilemea. Like even walking is a problem. I would just walk a little bit and nasikia nimechoka because yani I was just tired. The third trimester, I think it really affects a lot of people. So I reached a point whereby I was like, now this baby needs to come out because I can't. That time, during all that period, I had a friend that was also pregnant and we were due the same time. And actually, tuliachana with like 2 days. So she's telling me, hey Emma, like, have you started, having, these, as your breast started removing water, like watery, milky, something in your breast? And I'm like, no, nothing. And I'm telling you, by now it should start getting out, in preparation of the baby. And I'm like, no, there is nothing, but I hope it's going to come out soon. So with time, she's telling me, sometimes I feel weird, like pain inakuja inaisha, we una feeling hivyo? And I'm like, no, I don't feel anything. Yani literally my body is like it was not recognizing I was pregnant. I was not having any other symptoms apart from my big belly that I was pregnant. No forced labor, no nothing, no milk, nothing. So my DD came and I went to the hospital and I told them that it's my DD and I'm expecting labor pains. There are no labor pains. And then he was like, the doctor was like, let us check the cervix and see if it's maybe opening up. That is an experience that I would never want to go through again. Like, You imagine, like, no, yani, giving birth is another thing, yani, it's just another thing. He took me into a room and he made me sleep there with my legs open and he inserted, I don't know how many fingers inside to check the cervix. Oh my God. That experience, no. So he checked the cervix and it was closed. And he told me, because the DD is maybe 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after, you just go home and relax and just come back like in a week's time. And I was like, okay, I went back home. But when I went back home, I had this feeling. Let me say my intuition is kind of good. I had this bad feeling that my pregnancy will end up in me going for a C-section, because I don't understand. Why am I already in my due date and there is no symptom at all? There is no, even my cervix is closed. Like, that is so weird. I don't understand. So that night I prayed to God. I told God, please God, I don't want to go through CS. I hear people die. I don't want to die. I prayed. And so I stayed for a week with no any symptom. Nothing at all. Akuna ata my breast, nothing. And then I stayed for another week. And then I told my baby daddy then and told him that on Tuesday I'm going to the hospital and I'm going to give birth. I am tired. Me, I can't stay with this pregnancy anymore. I am tired. I am tired. I'm tired. There is no symptom. I feel nothing. Me, I want this baby out. Like, I am tired. I can't walk. And he was like, yeah, let's go on Tuesday. So we went on that Tuesday to the hospital to check how the baby is, why I'm not, feeling anything. And I was told to go do a scan. When they went to do a scan, they found out that my cervix was closed. Kabisa, the baby was really big, and the amniotic fluid was very little, very, very little. They called it severe something, I don't remember. And they told me this is an emergency, you're supposed to give birth today. I was like, okay. They told the boyfriend, you just go back home, pick some baby's clothes and come back because she's going to give birth today. This is an emergency and the baby has to get out. So I was like, okay. Then the worst news that I never wanted to hear, they told me that I cannot give birth normally. They have to do a C-section that I had really prayed God not to have. Oh my God. I was scared. They told me it has to be an emergency, it has to be a CS, and for me to get ready. Well, I remember I went outside, I called my mom, I called my then mother-in-law, I just was crying. I was like, oh my God, I am going to die. Now I'm going to die. I'm going for a C-section. Oh my God, am I going to survive? Oh my God. And they tried to talk to me for me to calm down. And they started preparing me. I went to the ward. They started putting, the drips and everything to prepare me for the surgery or the C-section. And then at around 2 p.m., I was taken there. And they told me that because it's an emergency, I'm not going to go the half C-section where you put sijui what, unadungwa nyuma, and then you are paralyzed halfway, and then halfway unajisikia. They say that mine is going to be a full, mine is going to be full, like I'm going to sleep completely. So it was like that. That is it. All I remember was they told me to count. All I remember was they told me to count from 1 to 10, and I don't remember anything else. I remember waking up in my normal ward and with a lot of pain on my stomach. My baby is a little bit far away from me and he's sucking those fingers vibaya sana. And the ex-boyfriend was there. And he told me like, welcome back. You're back. And I was like, okay. Is the baby okay? That was my worry. Like, is he okay? And then he's there like, yeah, it's okay. He's okay. He's so okay. He's the one that is sucking his fingers there. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay, so how does he look like? And he tells me he looks like you. He has chubby cheeks. He looks like you. And I'm like, okay, I would like to see him. And they told me that I can't see him because right now CS venye hata wezi amka. So they're like, no, not now. So I did not see my baby till later in the evening when they gave me the baby to feed. Now that's another problem. I did not even have milk. Imagine, I knew there was a problem. Sijui mimi hormones zangu haziku realize nilikuwa na bola manini. I did not have any breast milk on my breast. Zero, kabisa, nothing. They tried, nothing. The baby was crying, he's hungry, nothing. They went to give him, I don't know, the glucose or what, but I did not have milk I don't know why, by the way. I don't know why. And I know there are some women who have struggled with not having milk in their breast for some time, or even some do not have completely. So I just saw my baby for the first time when I was trying to breastfeed him. He looked so cute. The first time I saw him, and oh my God, I looked at him and I was like, this is like a baby that was inside me. Like, he was big, by the way, because my baby was like 4 kgs. 4 kgs. So I look at him, he looks big, he has these big eyes, he's looking at me. I am looking at him and I'm like, hi, this is the baby that was inside my stomach for that long. And then you know, that feeling, you feel so nice. So fast forward, for 3 days he did not even take my breast milk. We tried everything. We tried taking iyo supu, nothing. We tried this uji, sijui yenye imefanywa nini, nothing. You know, the only thing that worked was very, very, very hot water. Yeah, nilipresiwa nayo to on my breast, so that, you know, I don't know. Yeah, that is what worked for me. And then the milk started coming out slowly by slowly. But you know, with CS, you have to stay in the hospital for like 4 days before you're released. So after like 4 days, I was released to go back home and start my journey as a mother without even knowing how to hold my baby. You know, first time moms, you know, you don't even know how to hold that baby. You don't know how to breastfeed that baby. He's crying, you don't know why he's crying. Nani? It's a big struggle when you're a first time mom. Anyway, that was my story. That's how I knew I was pregnant. That's how my pregnancy was. By the way, guys, if you had unusual pregnancy, comment on the section below and see if we had the same, you know, experience. You know, maybe I'm not the only one who has these experiences. You have no, like, your hormones do not recognize you're pregnant. Anyway, thank you guys for your support. Thank you for listening to me. And I'm so glad to continue, you know, interacting with you guys. Thank you so much and see you on my next video. Bye.